Today, amongst us, we have a parent. Our parents have had a parenting style. It is not necessary that your parenting style matches them. So, do you experiences these clashes at home that your in-laws feel something different about what they are doing and you have a different perspective to it?
Of course, that is always there and will always be there, and that has its phases.
We can say parenting has changed.
Parenting has changed, yes. One more thing I want to add, the word balance, no, is a myth. You aim, it's like being perfect. You cannot ever be perfect. You cannot ever achieve balance.
Tell us a little about what kind of a parenting style do you follow? Do you have a style or do you like do a mix of a few or how does it work for you?
I'm a very 90s mom. I'm very rugged with my boys.
Okay. How is it dealing with two teenage kids?
Wow. I could take a knife and kill myself. No, that's so tricky because teenagers are growing, and we've been there, done that, but it still feels new
Right.
because now I am watching a teenager. So many times I turn back to my mother and I'm like, sorry for those years, but
If your kids described you in one word, what would it be?
fun aspect, monster mommy, so many times.
Namaste and welcome to The Native, tribe behind every child. Brought to you by Dreamspire in association with Purple Bee Studio. Today, we welcome Shubha Sharma, a parent of two teenage boys, to our tribe. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today at The Native and welcome to our tribe.
Hi, Vrinda. It is an honor to be here. Having known you for so many years now, the moment you approached, it was an instant yes. So I'm equally glad. I don't know about the parenting bit, but yeah, we are all trying. So bring it on.
Great. So looking forward to have this conversation with you. But before we deep dive into the whole thing, would you want our audience to know what is your family background and how does the setup look like for you and both your kids?
So I live in a joint family, but I would call it a nuclear family.
All right.
Because for me, my definition of nuclear is not modern, which what I mean is I live with my in laws and my husband and my two boys. So we are six of us, and this is my nuclear family. And life for me I can never imagine raising my boys alone without their support. Uh, because, you know, I've been a parent, I've been a mom since 15 years. But it's very recently that I've started parenting a teenager.
Right.
So it's all new. Every step is new for me. So it's always good to have a mentor or a guide and a support system who tells you that we've been there, done that. So this is how it is. So it's like added support. It's like people coming together to raise your children.
Right.
And apart from that, every generation brings their experience of parenting on the table,
Right.
and it's just beautiful with that kind of trust, that kind of love, that kind of support, saying that we are there. Sometimes just being there gives you so much of mental support that you need, that okay, you're not alone in this.
Right.
That I think I don't think I would like it any other way.
That's really great to know, ma'am. Um, just makes me think. Uh, of course, our parents have had a parenting style. It is not necessary that your parenting style matches them. So, do you experience these clashes at home that probably your in-laws feel something different about what they are doing, and you have a different perspective to it?
Of course, that is always there and will always be there, and that has its phases. So, initially, when the child is new, just born, or you're growing in the toddler phase, you're very new to this whole scheme of things.
Right.
So, that support, then slowly, when you're raising your child, obviously, your connect with the child is supreme, right? You are so the bond is so strong that you feel you know your child very well.
Right.
And that is also true because you are also growing with your instincts for your child.
Right.
Having said that, then there are clashes in terms of, because they come from a time and era where probably you don't relate, but that is experience. That
Right.
is experience speaking. You're speaking out of your experience that you're going through.
Right.
Right now I'm at a stage where my child also has his own experience to share.
Right.
And we are all at different stages of our life.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel now me and my in-laws are one gang, and we are kind of parenting our teenager who's saying, look, this is the way to go. So
Right.
it, I think, comes with its phases,
Mm-hmm.
and the clashes are bound to happen. I generally say and feel and look back at it as experience talking
Mm-hmm.
and communication. I think the clashes can be avoided, or you can come to a common ground only and purely with communication.
So you've kind of cracked a code saying that communicating between different ideas coming from the fact that they belong to a different time, and you have a different time, and now you're saying that your kids are probably guiding you how you should parent them, is it? So it seems like you're experiencing on the go.
Definitely. And you are, as I said, parenting is a journey.
Right.
And this journey is different for each parent. I cannot compare my journey with anybody else. Having said that, I cannot compare my own journey with my older son with my younger son.
Right.
That journey is also completely different.
I'm sure.
The siblings are poles apart.
Right.
They are born with different natures, with different set of traits,
Mhm.
and what works for the older one doesn't always work for the younger one.
Right.
So I'm evolving. Everybody is evolving, and to kind of keep up with the times, with the changing times, you need to kind of communicate
Mm-hmm.
and understand the other person as well.
Right.
Having said that, Vrinda, that's what I'm saying. I'm no expert here at parenting. I am on a daily basis learning something. But one thing I've understood, it's choices you make.
Right.
It's the battles you pick. Not everything has to be chaos. Not everything has to be fought or argued. You just have to pick your battles. And then there are these things that you learn on a daily basis.
Right.
So there's some podcast which I heard, read, and was some article I read where they were saying that the teenagers are going through their own turmoils, their own friendship thing. Not every, see, we communicate, but it's not necessary that the child is communicating each and everything that they are going through, right?
Right.
And that's how they are evolving, their experiences. So there are certain things that I'm going to teach him out of my experience.
Right.
But there is so much, because life is also happening to him. There's so much said, unsaid that he's going through,
Right.
which is part of his learning and his evolving, right? So then I feel when everybody is going through something, everything can't be कि नहीं ऐसे करो, वैसे करो. Certain things are non-negotiable, but certain things you have to just let go. And I think parenting is about balancing the two
Right.
things,
Right.
where some things you want to teach, but ठीक है, this is not the right time because this is going to end up in an argument,
Mhm.
or this is the right time, because this is it. This is the opportunity where we are experiencing something, and this is where exactly I can tell him about, teach him something about life, or a thing or two about life.
Right.
So
So we'll get into the phase where we'll talk more about your kids. But if you could give us a little glimpse of how your life was before the kids and how it has made you feel after having your first child, and then how it has moved to when you had your second child.
I think there are only two phases of life:
Okay.
before children and after children. There is
Okay.
no other phase. There are only two phases. Before children, you are only thinking about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? You are thinking about, obviously, yourself, and I say that you are the prime focus, right? Your parents are focusing on you, you are focusing on yourself. The moment you turn into a parent, and I'm saying this on behalf of fathers also, because they also turn parents. See, women are they get pregnant and they're carrying the child for 9 months. That whole thing starts from day one,
Right.
right? But for most fathers, it starts the moment you place the baby in their arms,
Correct.
right? Then it changes for them forever.
Correct.
Uh, it's a different world and it's a different life altogether. Uh, you must have read that, right? You have your heart out of your body and you watch your heart grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact feeling
Right.
because it's a part of you, it's come out of you, and you are seeing your child grow into a person.
Hmm.
So sometimes you just, so many times when I'm seeing old photographs and I'm seeing all these old memories that pop up, and I'm like, are you serious? This can't be my child, and
Right.
this is, I'm so overwhelmed with that love for my children. And every parent goes through that. Every parent goes through that.
Right.
So it's all for good. It's the love, the respect, and the feeling that now you're living for someone else.
Right.
Your happiness, your entire day is planned around your children.
Correct.
Before I came here, I had to do 10 other things to make sure that my children are sorted.
Right.
And then I came here. So it's everything's planned around them. That's your world.
So moving out of the world of yourself to moving around the world of your kids.
Right.
That's how we can say parenting has changed.
Parenting has changed, yes. And there's one more thing I want to add, Vrinda. The word balance, no, is a myth.
Okay.
मुझे लगता है ये प्रेशर हमको डालना ही नहीं चाहिए अपने आप पर.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to achieve any balance in life.
Right.
Okay? You aim. It's like being perfect. You cannot ever be perfect. You cannot ever achieve balance.
Right.
What you have to do is just live in that moment. Okay? Be there at that moment.
Right.
फिर that's how I work. Because the moment I try to get into balancing things, most of the time I tend to topple.
Right.
Because I'm not there 100%, I'm not here 100%. And this mainly for women, mainly for mothers. Because firstly, I think we have a lot of guilt factor. We ride a lot on guilt.
Hmm.
Okay, and it's become a part and parcel of our the way we function.
Right.
When we throw in balance in that, it just aggravates, right? So just make your choices. There are days when your work will need you, there are days when your child will need you more,
Hmm.
right? So I think, and thankfully, maybe I have the liberty, and that's why I can say that, okay, that freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to make a choice at that moment. And if I have to shut my work, I shut and I spend time and be with my child at that moment. And if I think there are things where I feel that, okay, maybe my work at this moment needs me,
Mm-hmm.
then I explain to my children that just give me some more time, I'll wrap this up.
Right.
But if I try to achieve that, okay, I need to devote so much time here, so much time here, वो मुझसे तो कभी achieve clear अच्छे से हो नहीं
So
पाता.
could we say that more than balancing and more than having it all, it's all about prioritizing based on the situation?
Yes. That's again the same thing, right?
Right.
Prioritizing and making choices.
Yes, your choices are going to help you build your life in a smoother way as
Right.
compared to running behind balancing it.
Right. Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little about your parenting with your older one and your parenting with your younger one, how that has changed and how that has evolved you as a parent, especially when the younger one came in. Like, of course, the first phase where you must be learning from your mistakes
course.
and you would have tried to fix things for the younger one. So how did that go about?
The first child is always a project. Always a project. Your paranoia, everything you want to do perfect. And the second child, I'm not saying that the focus doesn't go there. I feel, thank God, the focus doesn't go there because I think they, most of the time, are so auto-tuned for autopilot that they tend to do things. They're very independent
Right.
naturally, you know. So yes, parenting both my kids, as I said, was different because both of them are poles apart, and one loves to communicate, or one will take some time to ease out, will tell me things at pace,
Mm-hmm.
So it's and because they both have different nature, they are different personalities. So yeah, it is different. raising my older one, as I said, there's a 2.5 year gap between the two of them.
Right.
So at one point, now they are like, they're the same
Hmm.
age wise, physicality, all of that is the same. So now they are there for each other, they are like a team now.
Right.
But initially, when I kind of delivered my second one, that's one thing I want to share with
Sure.
parents who've just delivered or who are, going to deliver their second or their third child. The baby doesn't know. The brand new baby doesn't know that he what emotions are and also spend that time with your older son. I think somewhere I feel, I because I had a new baby and I just poured my attention to the second one. I don't have too many memories of that, but I feel that maybe I immediately decided that my older son is now older,
Hmm.
and he was just 2.5.
Right.
So, and now I realize that no, that was the time, because he must have felt that, oh, there's somebody who's just, popped up somewhere, and all my love, all my attention has been divided,
Right.
or has gone to the child.
Right.
So, anyone who's starting out their second journey, their second innings with their second child, focus the first few months, you can easily focus on your older child's needs, because I think somewhere they feel that. And as children, they don't have that capacity to deal with those emotions.
To understand, for that matter, that something
What
is
is
going on with them.
So involve them, and spend more time with the older one, because he or she has to cope up
Right.
that my mom or my dad is split now. Their love is
Hmm.
split into two.
Hmm.
So I think that is one thing I would go back and do right.
Right. Okay.
Okay, spend more time with him. And but yes, now when I look at it, the moment my younger one, he could crawl before he could sit.
Hmm.
I'm genuinely, like,
Hmm.
seriously saying that he could crawl before he could sit, because he would see the older one running around.
Hmm.
And usko tha ki, how can I match up to his speed?
Right.
So then that journey became so much fun and interesting to see the boys grow up together, to play together.
Right.
So it was fun. It was fun.
Give us an instance where you felt what you just shared, or the advice that you shared with the parents, the new parents who are going to be. Where did you feel? What did you see in your child that you felt that no, this is something that I did wrong, and how I wish I could have. What was that one thing that the child showed you, or probably verbally expressed it to you, or maybe in actions?
So, when we all know, right? We women have so much hormonal thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
especially after delivery. You have your postpartum, and you feel how much ever support you have. There's something that is, I don't know, resetting in your body, which takes you up and down emotionally.
Right.
So, you're always on snapping, because firstly, you have two children, you are not sleeping well, you're just kind of getting back to reality, that now you have that much responsibility added on. So, going through that mentally,
Mm-hmm.
raising your first one, going through his routine, and then the newborn with
Right.
their own routine. So, as a parent, you and husbands obviously are there full, they are supporting,
Right.
but then they have work to kind of look at and all of that. So, somewhere in that, where I feel you just get so overwhelmed
Hmm.
that your emotions are not in check sometimes. So,
Hmm.
agar bacha thodi bhi masti kar raha, you will be like, what is it? Why are you here? So sometimes I have those one or two experiences where I feel, oh, I was too hard on him. He was just being a child,
Right.
and I was a new mom, and all those emotions mixed up. So I have those one or two things where I felt I was a little hard on my older one. I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But yeah, so we've learned through all of
Do
that.
you hear that coming in the conversation between the boys that, Are, you were so pampered, or,
No, like,
you know,
they don't remember so much, but
uh-huh.
I constantly get that you love him more, you don't love me more, and he'll be like, you love me more, you don't love this. I think they leave it only for the mothers. I have never seen them talk to the fathers like that.
Right.
Yeah, but no, we are one unit.
Right.
Both my boys know, what they mean to us, and how we are to them. And obviously, this also needs constant reminders because, as I said, they are also living their life,
Right.
right? They are also evolving somewhere and they are also experiencing so much.
Mm.
Some they tell us, some they don't, you know. And we also are going through life together.
Right.
But I think all is well as of now.
Great. Tell us a little about what kind of a parenting style do you follow? Do you have a style, or do you like do a mix of a few, or how does it work for you?
I'm a very 90s mom. I am very, very, uh, I don't know, I'm very rugged with my boys.
Okay.
Also because they are boys.
Mm-hmm.
And at times I get loud.
Mm-hmm.
At times I'm like, Karo. At times I'm very melodramatic.
Okay.
As I said, I'm not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that works with my children. Because if I start behaving all of that, oh, I should, be softer with them, or I cannot talk to them in a certain way, I think
Uh-huh.
they'll not believe me only. They'll be like, who are you?
Ah, okay. That's
So
it.
we're very hands on,
Hmm.
and both my husband and wife, we as parents are very hands on. We are learning, we are not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But when it comes to our children, we know what's best for them.
Right.
We know, because when we are deciding or when we are talking to them or communicating to them, we know individually dono kaise hain, right?
Right.
So some things, sometimes not everything is said and spoken. So you look at them and you understand कि वो क्यों ऐसे बात कर रहा है, so I think every family has that, right? Every family, you don't need an outsider telling you कि ऐसे करो. See, sometimes वो ज्ञान ठीक है, but you know your children know you as parents, because you're living day in and day out, you're growing together as a
Right.
family, right? So you have your ups and downs, which are so important, because as a family you're going through those ups and downs together. Those experiences are teaching you how to live together and how to live your life in individual capacity and as a family together.
Right.
So that is very important. So my style is not bookish. I am also reading, listening, watching, observing, tweaking
Mm-hmm.
very naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, my emotions also, some, as I said, you pick your battles, right? So
Right.
today, if there's something that's playing on my mind and something's not working, I'm snapping because I'm human.
Hmm.
But at the same time, in my saner days, when I have everything in control for that day, I'm relaxed.
Right.
And I am like, okay, we can do this, or something is, so we tweak it. I just want to say we can't be hard on ourselves,
Right.
as parents, Vrinda, because we are all हम सब जी रहे हैं, right? We have work pressures, we have some phone call that didn't go well,
Right.
or we have aging parents, we are talking to them, everything is happening, बीच में parenting is also happening,
Right.
बीच में all these teens issues are also cropping up. So how are you going to follow a book? Or how are you going to follow that parent that you adore? Because this is all, we have to keep it real somewhere.
Right.
So I think my parenting, if you ask me what style, it's a real style. Jo that day pay is real and keeps the family sane. That is the parenting style we opt for.
Great. Tell me something. Do your boys have a lot of rules at home to be followed?
I'll be honest. We try to keep rules.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the rules are broken,
Mm-hmm.
but they also respect certain things. Certain things are non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, certain things are duties.
Mm-hmm.
As a mom, certain duties are on me.
Mm-hmm.
Certain duties are daddy duties,
Mm-hmm.
where his word is final and they know. So between me and my husband also, we have this unsaid thing, okay, this is your department, this is my department.
Right.
Or we have this thing that, okay, now everything is fine, now you take over. Okay,
Right.
so this is how we go. Every rule is not followed, but there are boundaries. And everybody knows this is an unsaid thing. We all remain in our boundaries. When I know that he's taking over, I don't try to, unnecessary step in,
Right.
because I know he's taking charge, And similarly, when he know that there are certain things which only the mother can look into, and that's my headache, or I have set that particular thing. So he'll be like, mom knows, deal with it.
Hmm.
So that's those boundaries are set.
So with rules, you said there are rules that are broken. So is there reasoning followed by why it's broken? Is there a conversation behind it, or they are just broken?
Of course, no. There is a lot of debate, discussion,
Mm-hmm.
that why can't I, and when we discuss it, sometimes we take two steps ahead, sometimes they take two steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
The non-negotiables, then they will come and negotiate. So all of that, as I said, right, every day is a new kind of new day.
Hmm.
Sometimes you are just in a jolly good mood, so sometimes you're like, okay, ठीक है, आज के दिन चलेगा. But
Right.
sometimes when you are like, no, there are certain things where my children know that it's not going to work.
Right.
They try, uh, for many various reasons. Maybe because as a principal, I don't allow it, or maybe because for safety issues or whatever. And sometimes then we work a way around. It's not a written no or a written yes.
Right.
Sometimes there are tweaks that we have to make.
Sure. All right, ma'am, if you could tell us some of these rules that you've set or some of these non negotiables that you've been talking about, just give us an example.
So typical one is obviously, which every parent is kind of battling, screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Screen time is something that we try to build most rules. Now my children are older, so वो थोड़ा एक tug of war होता है.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, they keep coming up with requests for sleepovers,
Okay.
and that's something that I do not encourage. You
Okay.
know, for various reasons and reasons that we have as a family. So these are certain things they know, so there are so many plans that get made, and they will not come and tell me or take permission because they know. So, but yeah, having said that, when there is something that they are really looking forward to, then they build their case and come to me and they're like,
Mhm.
mommy, please, the entire class or this is happening or they are doing it. And obviously, if people are known to us, then it's a different story. But yes, these are two things mainly where the rules are. The diet related thoda hota hai, certain foods that I want my children to eat,
Right.
because it's a non-negotiable. Aage jaake fir then you will suffer
Yes.
like us, where
Yes.
you have these aches and pains and whatever. But yeah, so there are normal basic rules that most households have, most families have.
Now I can relate to when you say you're a 90s parent because my parents never allowed me to go for a stayover. So I can totally now relate when you're.
Never allowed. You see, it's not just that you don't trust. The thing is not about trusting another family. It's never about that.
Right.
It's about other things. It's about, you know, some medical medical issue, some medical, thing that arises, or it is. There are various factors. Now, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I'm sure most parents understand that. But it's never about trusting another family, or it's never about trusting your child. It's never about that.
Right.
There are so many other factors that come in when this whole sleepover is planned. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I've never been comfortable about it.
Like, even my father couldn't explain me this. He's like, I just want my daughters to be home in the night with me. This was his explanation to me that this is why you can't go for stayovers.
Yeah.
I can't sleep without you guys. This was his
No,
explanation.
there are many reasons. See, if we have, that can be a separate topic, and I have solid reasoning for everything, which I have told my children.
Right.
But people say, "Na, Ari, why are you not sending?" It's never about those
Not
reasons.
sending,
Yeah,
right.
about not about that I don't want them to spend time or what. तुमको जो मर्जी करना है, have a lot of fun, full day of fun, just come back home.
Right.
Because I have sleepless nights, and come on, we are parents. Safety, security is the prime concern of any parent, any age group,
Right.
right? And we are living in those times, so it's not just that, it's multiple things.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move to schooling. Tell us a little about your schooling days. How was your experience as into education, and how has that helped you make choices for your kids? Into what education? What kind of education would you want your kids to have?
So I'm Actually, I have mixed feelings about this.
Mm-hmm.
Our education was so basic, right? We had three choices then:
Right.
CBSE, ICSE, SSC,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had three choices in college, right? And it was that's it. That was your life.
Right.
Ye karna hai, nahi karna hai,
Right.
right? And then you do your post graduation, whatever. So thankfully, there are a lot more choices now,
Mm-hmm.
and times have evolved. But when I say I have mixed feelings, because that time was very basic. Life was so simple
Hmm.
and so not it was not complicated, right?
Right.
Things That's because we are living in a day and age where things are only getting complicated with every single passing day.
Right.
So that way it's good and bad. But yes, education, if you talk primarily, I'm glad that we have evolved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that there are so many choices. I'm glad that we are not putting children in those three boxes only. And glad that we are realizing that there are so many choices now. you
Right.
know if you ask me how would I do things differently for myself, yes, I would have done things very differently for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed that I had parents who were so progressive then and who told me, you do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They didn't put me in that box, oh, she scored this much, so she should go for a science.
Mm.
I didn't want to do science then.
Right.
So at that time, they trusted me with my choice.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky,
Mm.
you know. But I am glad that now that whole awareness about so many fields, so many occupations, so many vocations are there, that people are sensible enough to let their child decide, and they are not putting them in those typical boxes that, okay, he's good at this, so he'll do science, he'll do this, and arts is not looked upon, first. Oh, arts child, arts is so important. Imagine life without arts,
Right.
you know. So I'm glad that that whole perspective around education has changed and is changing. So, with that perspective, some years ago, we also took that decision of changing the
Mm-hmm.
education for the board for our children.
Mm.
Now, again, this is very child to child,
Mm.
right? Some children are very focused, they know what they want to do.
Right.
Some children are figuring it out,
Mm.
and that's absolutely okay.
Mm.
Let them figure. There are adults who've still not figured out what they want to
Right.
do in life.
Right.
So, when we as a family decided that we will switch boards, we took them out from the traditional schooling, and we put them in a different board, in a more
Mm.
evolved way of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
That was important for my children.
Right.
That was a decision we as a family
Mm.
took,
Mm.
because we felt that that suited best.
Mm.
So, and that's when we moved our kids, and it was all about our learning and unlearning as well, because
Mm.
we've come from traditional boards, right?
Right.
And there were certain things which we realized over time कि अरे ये करना चाहिए था.
Mm.
And I didn't want my children to then later in life say अरे ये करना चाहिए था.
Right.
So that is the thing, that is the main reason as to why then we switched boards.
Your initial choice of putting your kids into ICSE, and I'm sure when you made that choice, you would have been very clear, okay, I know I want my kids to go into ICSE, not an SSC or not a CBSE. What was the choice that you made then? Or what were the things that made you feel that, no, this is the right path for my kids at the moment, going back to the first phase of the schooling of your kids?
At that time, I'll be very honest with you, we didn't give it so much thought.
Okay.
We were very sure about a particular school and about the board that they were offering.
Hmm.
That was the norm then, right?
Okay.
I'm talking about what, 15 years ago, right?
Hmm.
When you have a child, you start deciding. It's not that
Hmm.
then the child is 3 or 4 and that's the call you take. This is a decision you're taking,
Hmm.
right? So that was the most obvious choice then, and so
Okay.
we went for it. For me, distance also mattered.
Hmm.
I always prefer something that is around,
Correct.
because we are living in a city which is always grappling with traffic issues, things get delayed. And so I always wanted the school in my vicinity,
Right.
you know, just walkable distance.
Hmm.
So that was also, so these were the kind of criterias I had before
Hmm.
making an informed decision then.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's how I chose.
And then the change that you've moved into. I understand having the school closer to home, and that was the best thing to do at that moment, considering the space that you were living in, or and the non-negotiables that, or the checklist that you had, that these are the things I want in my school, and those were fulfilled then. And the change that happened, what led to that change?
So, ICSE is a great platform. It's a great curriculum,
Right.
right? Again, as I said, when we decide, every parent has to make this decision from the child's perspective.
Hmm.
Does it suit your child? What is it that your child is wanting?
Hmm.
Is that curriculum giving that freedom to that child?
Right.
So all these questions we were asking these questions to ourselves, right? We were understanding our children's needs.
Hmm.
And that's when we decided that, what, we will change our board.
Hmm.
Because I think keeping our children in mind, an IGCSE works best, an IB works best. So then we took admission in a school that worked best for us because it had the best of both worlds. It was IB until the fifth, then it had the IG board,
IGCSE.
IGCSE, and then we have the IB board.
Hmm.
So it worked best because it had the rigor and it had that liberty, the freedom
Hmm.
to understand, to reflect, to study in a more open way.
Hmm.
It had your books, but it also had a lot of other things that go along with the books.
Right.
There's this one subject that I would talk in particular is GP, Global Perspective. What a
Hmm.
fab subject,
Right.
because your child is learning so many things that are happening around him
Hmm.
real time.
Hmm.
you know he is not going to learn. He, of course, your history and geography and everything is very, very important, right? Non-negotiable.
Right.
But at the same time, he's learning the current world that he's living in. Most important.
Right.
Then there were certain things, certain aspects of the more evolved schooling that I like is about, your social engagement
Hmm.
with the teacher, with your peers,
Hmm.
which is so evolved.
Right.
It is not that, you're coming to the same page and discussing.
Hmm.
We are living in these type of this world, right?
Correct.
We are not, it's updated,
Hmm.
right? We are in a different version of the world right now.
Hmm.
So you cannot be your ideology cannot be very outdated,
Hmm.
right? So that whole thing, that environment was what we wanted for our children,
Right.
where they find a voice, they feel involved, right? They get time to reflect and see a particular topic with their own perspective,
Hmm.
which is the evolved way of learning,
Right.
right? Where they are learning current affairs, where they are giving their ideas, where they are presenting, where they are talking to their teachers, where they are discussing everything.
Right.
And that's when they are learning. It is not just book kholo, because I feel that is testing your memory.
Hmm.
Now you're testing your knowledge,
Right.
right? I might remember this. I might remember the debate, whether it was heated, whether it was. I will remember all of this
Right.
because I was involved in it,
Hmm.
right? I was giving you my perspective, I was taking in your perspective.
Right.
But when you're telling me, book khol ke rato, usko learn it, then you're testing my memory.
Correct.
I may be very intelligent, but
Hmm.
I may not be having a great memory, right?
Correct.
So that is the thing that made us feel, let's change it for our boys. And the timing was perfect.
Right.
They were at that age,
Hmm.
and it worked for them.
Hmm.
There are certain children who thrive under ICSE. Let them be. Wherever your child can thrive, that is the best environment.
Correct.
It need not be, the rat race or the peer pressure should never be the deciding factor. It should be, where is your child thriving?
Hmm.
Where is he or she feeling safe?
Hmm.
Where is he or she growing and learning? If that is an SSC or an ICSE or an IB, tick that whatever suits your child and you and your pocket.
Right.
Because education is become very expensive. It is, I'd keep telling and joking with my parents. I said, "Aap achhi nikal gaye. You didn't have anything to shell out." I mean, of course, that was big then,
Then
but compared to what the the entire fee structure
at the
today
moment.
is, and raising a child is not easy in today's day and age. The expenses, everything from lifestyle to eating to socials to
Hmm.
everything, it's all a package. So you have to tick the box that suits your family best.
Hmm.
Nobody else can tick that box for you. It should never be that way.
So it is not necessary to put your child in an IB school.
No, I'll say that. I'll tell you why. Again, coming back to the same thing, you and your child sit together and decide, right? In fact, my request would be to the traditional schools, take some time and evolve.
Hmm.
And there are schools which are the traditional CBSE boards, but if you enter them and you see the way they are functioning like any other IB school,
Hmm.
because they chose the board, right?
Hmm.
But the way of teaching can be evolved, right?
Right.
It is not the what you teach, it is how you teach that has to be evolved.
Hmm.
So that can be picked up by any regular school.
Hmm.
It depends on how you teach.
Right.
What you teach is math is going to be math. Math
Correct.
cannot change, right?
Absolutely.
साइंस के फंडे वही रहने वाले हैं. Science cannot change. In an IB, it cannot be a very different science that you're learning. You're living in the same world. But how you teach that,
Hmm.
how your child is learning, how your student is learning is
Hmm.
very important, and you have to tweak that. So if
Hmm.
that can be changed in an SSC school, वो school बहुत अच्छा है, right? But everybody has to be changing and evolving.
Correct. Correct.
That is what I feel needs to be addressed in this nation.
How is it dealing with two teenage kids?
Wow. I could take a knife and kill myself. No, that's so tricky because they have teenagers are growing, and we've been there, done that,
Mhm.
but it still feels new
Right.
because now I am watching a teenager. So many times I turn back to my mother and I'm like, sorry for those years, but but I try to so many times reflect and understand that maybe they're really going through something, right?
Hmm.
Apart from the hormonal thing, they are dealing with friendships, they're dealing with their school, they're dealing with life at home.
Hmm.
And what I always feel that chahe kuch bhi ho jaye, just be the right person and take the right decision. And it's never difficult,
Hmm.
right? Because if you just take a step behind and feel that, okay, am I harming myself? Am I harming others?
Hmm.
Am I hurting anyone?
Hmm.
If the answer is no, that means you're doing the right thing,
Hmm.
right? There's no problem
Hmm.
there. I also feel that they are constantly meeting people, you know, they are kind of making judgments at their end, is they with their friendships, and they're growing, right? So they are kind of getting their own understanding and wrapping their head around various kind of people,
Hmm.
right? So my only thing is that I want to tell, I always tell this to my boy, energy never lies.
Hmm.
When you meet a person, the person is not, there's nobody who's black and white,
Hmm.
okay? But people have their energies. And sometimes you will meet people who you click on an instant because your energy and their energy is on the same line,
Right.
right? Some people you meet, you just don't hit it off. You feel drained. Not because they are bad people.
Hmm.
It's just because you all don't match at a certain energy level. So I keep telling my children that, see, not everybody is going to be your friend. Not everybody is going to be clicking with you.
Hmm.
Okay, try to read energy. If they feel good, great. If they don't feel, take a distance, step back. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's okay not to have bunch of people around you all the time.
Hmm.
And I say this very importantly because now you realize, right, at this age I realize that TK, I have set of few friends who are my closest people,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And the others are there. They are there because wo hoga hi, right?
Right.
You're living in a society. I keep telling my children also. So it's always when you're meeting people, don't judge them too soon. But if you are getting some kind of a signal that okay, not working out, take a step behind. It's okay. You don't have to be, uh, on everybody's good books, or everybody doesn't have to be in your good books. You
Right.
judge your people accordingly.
Right.
I also feel that discipline is very important,
Right.
and I just feel that if they can only get into that discipline if in life, you know where there are again non-negotiables, where you are doing certain things on a daily basis. Oh god, I feel that I just want them to understand that from my perspective, that if I had my life disciplined at that particular age, today I would have been a different person altogether.
Right.
So these are things that I constantly want them to understand and learn now, so that life later on becomes a little easy.
Easier.
Anyway, they will learn what they will learn, but it's my job to kind of tell them that, okay, just go through and avoid these obstacles in life. That's about it.
Do your boys open up to you about the kind of things that they are experiencing? Yes, you shared that what you tell them to do, but if they are experiencing something, have they opened up to you
I
about it?
constantly tell my boys, not just my boys, I think the family, hyper communicate. Communicate. Bad day, communicate. Great day, communicate. Because it's important. तुम बताओगे नहीं. See, parents understand. We can see you the way you're entering the house, and in a minute I will know दिन अच्छा गया कि बुरा गया. That's because we have instincts. But it's better to speak, and because for you, your problem is a rock on your head. For us, because of our experience, that problem is small because we've dealt with it in the past, right? So my children communicate. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I gauge, and then I find my way of getting them to speak.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, I cannot tell them how was your day. You will never get no parent is going to get a straight answer.
Right.
You will only hear fine, good. It's only when I start to tell them that how my day went, that's when the conversation starts. So I will tell them, oh, I had a horrible day at work today. And they're like, why? What happened? Then I start. And then we also gossip, So that's when you let them in, they will let you in. That works with my children. But there are certain things I know as a parent that they keep deep within them. When they feel right, they will come to me. I know that they are not communicating,
Right.
but it's fair. As I said, we can't always be on their head. They are also living their life and learning through their own experiences quietly.
Right.
It's important because even we have gone through. There are so many things now when I sit back, I feel, okay, I didn't tell my parents about that. But that taught me something that time, right? So I think they will also learn through their experiences. कभी तो गिर के उठेंगे, सीखेंगे, चलेंगे. हम थोड़ी बचा सकते हैं. We can't put knee pads and say you cannot fall and bruise yourself, because that is life. You have to fall, right? So we can cushion, but after a point, I think I constantly remind myself and my husband about this, because we are paranoid at times. So I constantly tell him, and he constantly tells me that let them be. That's when the non-negotiables get a little tweaked.
Right.
Because we also have to understand that life is not always negative. No, some positive is also going to
Right.
come out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is a very important message for the parents to how to communicate with your kids, especially when you know that they are not communicating, how to go around them and bring them back to sharing
Right.
and fighting their own battles. This is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, ma'am, thank you for an intense and interesting conversation. I'm sure parents have taken a lot, teachers have taken a lot from this conversation. In fact, even kids, they'll probably talk to their parents, maybe try something like this and maybe you'll get something out of us. Moving into a fun section with you, we are going to have like a rapid fire round with you. Parenting in a flash. So I'm going to ask you questions, 10 questions, and
My
we
God.
need rapid answers to it.
Are you giving me some hamper?
Not today, though. So, the first question: what's the last thing your child taught you?
Persistence.
Most stressful, homework time or exam results?
Homework time, daily struggle.
Board games or bedtime stories?
Bedtime stories and chats.
Mm. Your go-to phrase as a parent?
Utho. I think utho for my boys. Utho karo, utho jao.
uh, Messier situation, school project night or packing for a trip?
Packing for a trip. More so for me because I always have that feeling that I'm missing out on something. Kuch dena
Mhm.
chahiye, kuch extra dena chahiye. That way.
One parenting hack that never fails.
Communication never
Okay.
fails.
If your kids described you in one word, what would it be?
Multiple words. Okay, the fun aspect, monster mommy, so many times because as I said, I'm a 90s mom. Kabhi kabhi
Right.
chillati hu. But mama. And mama in their tones. Now, I don't want to because they will whack me when I go home. They'll be like, how did you imitate us? But they both have a way of calling me mom or mama in a certain things.
Hmm. A parenting moment you'll never forget. It could be funny or heartwarming.
I think both the times I delivered my boys, that is photographic memory right now.
Mhm.
I don't think I will ever forget that moment. I think nobody does.
Sure. One thing you swore you'd never do as a parent, but now totally do.
Shouting, screaming. No, no. Sometimes
Spine.
spying.
Okay. One thing, and this is the last one, one thing you secretly enjoy doing when the kids aren't around.
I think eating my ice cream, watching TV,
Mhm.
and screen time.
So, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. This conversation has been nothing but heartwarming, and you've poured your heart out to our audiences. And there's so much to learn from you about parenting, about life, and handling teenage boys, and balancing things, having a family. I know that you also have your work to handle, but with all of this, and you've gracefully carried it and shared your experience with everyone, and we love that. And thank you for joining us in our tribe, and you've shared a lot with all of us.
Thank you for having me, Vrinda. It was a pleasure. I'm no parenting expert. I'm also learning on the go, but it was a great chat. I think I've also learned something from this entire thing, some reminders, something that I will go back and do differently again. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Shubha Sharma is a 90s mom with clarity, flexible approach, firm on values, and always learning on the go.
She definitely believes that parenting isn't about just balancing, it is about priorities. When the second child arrives, the first child definitely needs more care, attention, and love.
Shubha is redefining the meaning of nuclear family. She highlights the power of shared values and co parenting along with her in laws.
Thank you for joining The Native, tribe behind every child, and this is our tribe. See you in the next episode.